Here it goes. Like I said, the title, The Start of a Relationship by Sean Cleveland. At some point in our lives, we all fall in love. And after that happens, we oftentimes begin a relationship. I believe that the start of every relationship is a lie. I say this because very few people go into a new relationship as their true self. We put forth the best version of ourselves that we know how in an effort to give off the best impression. We do this so that the person we are interested in will become more interested in us too, and then decide to invest in a relationship. I think this is why so many relationships start off with a bang and then fizzle out after a short while. Because eventually, people stop pretending and start being their true selves, which sometimes leads to people being connected to strangers. People that they do not really know because they never actually got to meet them for real, since the start of the connection was a lie. Am I saying that we come into a relationship being deceptive? Actually, yes, that's what I'm saying, because most people, when we start a relationship, we put our best foot forward. We bring out the best version of ourselves, our best clothes, our best smiles, our best attitude. We accept things that under normal circumstances or a few months from now, we will not tolerate. It's like an elaborate dance. It's a pretending of sorts because we want this new person to like us and want to be around us, and we want them to form a lasting connection with us, start a relationship. So in essence, we don't tell the truth about who we are. We might give glimpses of ourselves. We might show a version of ourselves, but it's not our true everyday self. Now, that is why I consider the start of a relationship a lie, because it is deceptive. Now, guys, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to read the remaining portion of the blog, and then we'll go over that one as well. Now, here it is, the second part of the blog entry that I read earlier with the music behind it. It goes like this. We start to accuse each other of changing and being someone different. We ask questions like, where is this coming from? You weren't like this in the beginning. However, they didn't actually change and become someone different, but instead they simply started being who they really are. This happens a lot. And then we wonder why the relationship didn't last and why it ended badly. We need to change this deceptive, best foot forward behavior for our own good, so that we can enter into real relationships with people we actually know honestly from the beginning. Be who you truly are, flaws and all, so that the person you like can actually meet you, and then maybe the relationship can have a better chance of lasting. Now, there you go. That was the final part of the blog entry. Now, as a whole, all I'm really trying to say is we are a bunch of individuals that are out here looking to form relationships with people who love us for who we are. But how is that even possible if when we meet you or when we meet them, we don't even show them who we are at the very beginning? We reveal that part of us later, like it's some sort of a surprise, like popping out of a cake, like, hey, this is who I am. And then we're dumbfounded or confused when the person's like, oh, I don't think I can be with you because you're not who I thought you were. And then we get mad at them, but in reality, they're right. Because we weren't who we portrayed ourselves as. We weren't telling the truth. We were someone other than we pretended to be when they met us. We were pretending. That's exactly the word. How does someone form a lasting relationship with a great pretender of sorts? They never even met you. So how are you mad at them for being confused or disillusioned by who they're meeting now, when this is who you really are, the person that you're turning out to be? All because you misrepresented yourself in the beginning. So whose fault is it truly? Is it their fault for believing the first image that you put forward? Or is it your fault for not just being yourself and taking a chance and hoping that they liked you for who you really were? This is what so many of us tend to do. We go into a relationship with a plan, like, okay, how can I convince this person to love or like me? And that's the wrong agenda. The only agenda you should have when you go into the start of a relationship, in my opinion, is let this person meet me while I meet who they really are. And hopefully we'll hit it off and it will become something that has a chance of becoming something good and lasting, becoming a relationship of sorts. They can become your friend. It can be romantic. It can be short term. It can be brief. It can be long term. But either way, if we enter into it honestly, it'll have a chance of being good.
See, now where the problem lies is in the fact that most people don't want to be vulnerable. And now picture being vulnerable to someone I just met 2 minutes ago. Am I supposed to give the keys to my heart, access to my soul, free reign all throughout my emotional terrain to someone that I literally just met? All because I like the look of them, they're attractive, she has a nice smile, oh, I love the way they walk. Those are not reasons most people are willing to give up their vulnerability. Even in deep relationships, most people aren't willing to be vulnerable. And again, I say, therein lies the problem. Because of this, we fall into this category where, I need them to like us. So, thus the deception. Although it's a blatant deception on our part, we as the deceiver don't see it like that. We just want to be connected to the person. There's no ill intent. I'm not trying to deceive the person so that I can hurt them or break their heart or destroy their lives and turn their heart into ash. That's not the reason. I just want to spend more time with this person and possibly get to know them. And some of us aren't the most confident people, so our insecurity and our fear of rejection tells us, what parts of myself can I polish up to give it a better shine so that this person would like to spend some time with me? So that's what we do. That's the deception. Okay, so what I'm saying is that we need to actually meet people face to face, not from behind walls built to protect us from the last person that hurt us. We need to allow ourselves to be ourselves and actually introduce ourselves to those people that we are interested in, because it might provoke them to do the same thing. But even if it doesn't, we must remember that that is okay, because it's about giving yourself the best chance to find a real connection. So don't worry so much about what the other person is doing or about what the other person does. This doesn't mean put yourself out there even though you recognize the BS and clearly see the nonsense that the other person is feeding you. I'm not saying that at all. I'm simply saying that the pursuit of real love and a true connection requires a person to understand that the possibility for getting hurt is attached to the process. We have to be aware of it and be okay with it if it does happen, because it's a part of the journey as a whole. So in short, putting our best foot forward does help seal the deal in terms of getting us into the relationship. It works, and it works often. But at what cost? Is the fact of misleading someone so bad? Well, it is when the potential cost of it is the relationship that you sought out in the first place. The real you might not be the person that your new partner was looking for. Maybe they wanted the overly neat, always thoughtful, always on time individual that laughed at all of their jokes. Maybe they needed the always helpful, never upset, Always